Is Bitcoin about to pump or is it about to dump big time? Well, we're going to find out in this video. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and on this channel I teach how to trade Bitcoin and invest in Bitcoin. And I also talk about personal development and financial freedom. So if you're interested in any of this topic, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to stay updated for my next video. So in this video, we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart to try to figure out what direction the market is going. Few days ago, actually yesterday, while I was doing my technical analysis, I found this pattern in the Bitcoin chart that is starting to play out pretty good, and I'm going to show you guys exactly it so you can be able to find the best trading opportunities for yourself. All right, so let me share my screen with you so that I can show you that pattern that I found yesterday in the Bitcoin chart. All right, so as you all know, the Bitcoin price has been dropping for the past week since it hit its all-time high on Wednesday. On Wednesday, Bitcoin hit its all-time high. It went over 67,000, and from there it just started dropping drastically, as you can see on this chart. And this was an obvious crash because there was a pattern that formed as Bitcoin was in this uptrend. There was a rising wedge pattern right here. As you can see here, I drew it. So I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame here, and there was a rising wedge pattern that built up. And you know, rising wedge is a bearish pattern. Whenever you see a rising wedge in an uptrend, it usually means that the pattern is going to reverse. I love trading rising wedge and falling wedge because I find that they are more reliable than indicators. So yeah, so this is the reason why last week Bitcoin crashed, is because of the rising wedge pattern that we formed. And now, since Bitcoin has broken out of that rising wedge, it's been dropping drastically. And right now we are sitting at 61,349, as you can see there. And since Bitcoin has been dropping, it finally found support. When it first dropped, it found support around here, and then it fell further till here, and then finally it stopped right here. Now the reason why it stopped right here is because of the support. This is a huge supported area. As you can see from the past here, we had a support right there. I'm going to make this chart bigger so that you guys can see. Okay. Alright. So Bitcoin found support right here because, as you can see, in the past year, the price has been supported on that area here, another one right here, and that's so far what I can see here. So that's why you can see that we are bouncing out now. Now, what is the pattern that I found? Well, yesterday when I was doing my technical analysis, I started out by looking at the bigger time frame, to see what trend we are in. And in the bigger time frame, we are still in an uptrend. As you can see, we're still in an uptrend in the bigger time frame because we're still higher than the previous low here. So we are in an uptrend. Now let's break it down a little bit. I went to the 4 hour time frame to try to find a pattern on what is happening. And this is what I found. I found a falling wedge. So I noticed that Bitcoin went up here, right, in this area. So when it was at 67,000, that's when it crashed, right? And it went down. It went to retest that area again, this area, and it got rejected and came down here. So when I saw that, I drew this line here. I drew this trend line here because this is two double touches. So whenever you see two double touches on both areas, say on the higher area, on the lower area, you can draw a trend line and see if this is going to be either a rising wedge or a falling wedge. So in this case, this is a falling wedge. So I found a falling wedge pattern on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. And as we all know, a falling wedge is a bullish pattern. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, this means that eventually Bitcoin is going to return up. Now, the bottom of the falling wedge is like right here, around 50, yeah, around 55K. Now, is Bitcoin going to go down to there? That is not certain. What you need to prepare for is when Bitcoin breaks out of this falling wedge, it breaks out of the falling wedge, you want to long Bitcoin because it's going to go higher than the previous all-time high that it created. It's going to create a new all-time high. So you want to keep a lookout on this falling wedge here that I've drew on the 4-hour. You can also find it on the 1-hour. It's you can see it even more on the 4-hour. So just keep an eye out. If you see that Bitcoin finally breaks out of the falling wedge, before you enter, wait for a confirmation of a candle closing outside of this falling wedge. Once that happens, then you can enter a long position on the next candle. And yeah, so you just watch out for that breakout. Once it breaks out, then you place the long and you can take your profit at the next resistance depending on where it breaks out. If it breaks out from here, right here, then the next resistance from here would be around here, around 67,000. So you can take your profit before it hits 67K. So maybe around 66K, take your profit there. Or if it goes down here, if it breaks out from the bottom here, then the next resistance would be around 63K, 63.8K. That's the next resistance, and you want to take your profit before it hits that, right? Like a couple hundreds or a couple thousands. So yeah, that's the pattern. So just watch out for this falling wedge. Right now, it looks like Bitcoin is heading towards that resistance line again. So this line here is resistance and this line is support. So it's been supported multiple times. As you can see here, it got supported here, it got supported here, it got supported here, it got supported here and here. And now you can see again, it got resisted there, it got resisted there, and now it's heading towards that resistance line again. If it gets rejected, then it's gonna go down a little. It might go back all the way down to the support line again, which would be around 57K. And it will just keep doing this until it finally breaks out. So just bear in mind that Bitcoin is actually not going to crash as bad as everyone is talking about. Like, I noticed that a lot of people out there are becoming so fearful, thinking that Bitcoin is going to crash big time, but I don't believe that's going to happen. I think Bitcoin is about to break its previous all-time high of 67,000, and it's an exciting time to be in. So just be on the lookout for when Bitcoin breaks out of this falling wedge pattern. All right, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. If you found this video interesting, helpful, then make sure you hit the thumbs up to let me know. And if you're not yet subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel so you can learn more on how to trade Bitcoin. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.